Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crystal Crawford Show. Oh my God, we're doing this every week again. Yes. Fuck yes, go us. Wow. So this week has been personally learning curve intense week for me, but today's show is called Are You Wishing Someone Would Rescue You? Where is my knight, goddammit? And I just got off a live Zoom call with a bunch of people that said yes to it around this topic. And I was kind of hoping this would be a live recap of that call. Hi, guys. Welcome. If you're watching live, let me know. But what I'd be really grateful for, if you guys would, while you're live, is if you have any questions about this, put them in the chat, because the call itself was really all over the map with this. You know, are you waiting for someone to take care of you? Do you really, truly want someone to take care of you, or are you actually better at it yourself? And I was kind of hoping for a theme to come out of that, but we were all over. So what I think there's a few important pieces to this. Okay. Anytime you're waiting for someone else to do it, like I had an amazing conversation with a lady that was like, can somebody just come into my life and like make my choices for me? Like, have you guys ever felt that way? Like, can somebody else just do this? Can somebody else just choose something for me so I don't have to like do it? I've definitely felt that way. And the thing about that is when you've taken that position, you've already given up on you. Like you've already given up. And so the only way to start to really change this thing is to really get honest with yourself and go, okay, I've already given up on me. I just want somebody else to do this. Yeah. And sorry, as I'm sitting here talking about it, what I'm getting is this bigger energy. And pardon me, I'm going to turn the fan on so I don't like sweat my face off while I'm talking to you. Hi. I think we have to get more honest with ourselves about when we've given up on things. Okay. This week, I did some things. I bought a keyboard. I bought a microphone. I invested in some really great audio equipment because I am about to start to do energy pulls, and I want to do them with piano. And I want the sound to be really, really good for you and for me, but mostly for you. So I just went, you know, I got Andres's help and we went all over Cali, and we've got this amazing keyboard, and I've got a sound interface, and I've got new software on my computer, and I've got this pro mic, and I've learned how to use all of it. It's been an intense week of learning. And there was certain points, yeah, ASMR energy pulls, exactly. Thank you for the word. So the reason I tell you that is because there's been a lot of learning curve. Okay, not just this week. There's actually been a lot of learning curve, like in this whole process of moving to Latin America. I've been joking about it more lately because I have more access to the humor of it all now. But incredible amounts of things to learn about myself, about Andreas, about the country, about the culture, about the language, about how things work down here, about payment systems. I mean, everything from the like personal to the cultural and beyond. The reason I say that is because I don't see the journey of consciousness being any different than that. I actually, the more and more I do this, and I've been doing access consciousness tools in my own life for about 10 years now, the more and more I engage and I create with these tools and move to other countries, the more I see the same thing is happening here. Like there's actually this incredible need for us to learn a totally new way of being, which really is just learning how to be ourselves. Because none of us know how to be ourselves. It's like we be ourselves in pockets and in moments, and then in that moment we're too much for somebody, or we've been too loud, or, we offended somebody, and then we go back into our box again, right? And so there's a big requirement, a big ask from our own being, actually, for us to really stretch and learn how to be ourselves. And what I see so many of us do, I've done it, is be pretty unconscious about what it really takes to create what it is we say we want. And here's what I mean by that. Here's an example. When you don't have somebody near you to run your bars, you've got basically two choices, essentially. There's almost always two choices: create or die, okay? So, like, for example, when you don't have somebody near you to run your bars, you basically got two choices. You can die, which is like, go, well, I don't have anybody near me, and I'm far away, and I'm blah, 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 and all this thing. You can die and encapsulate the choice for dying in a story, which is what that is. I've done it plenty of times. Or you can create, which is like, whatever it takes. I'm going to have my bars run every week. What does that take? But in the choice for creation, you got to get that you're going to go through some new stuff. And I see this like in every example that everybody brought up on the call, that I bring up, like to Gary Douglas when I had my private session. I'm like, hey, Gary, can you talk to me about this coping thing? And he's like, yeah, but would an infinite being choose to cope? And I'm like, no. But Gary, what about coping? And he's like, well, you got to get, would an infinite being choose that? And I'm like, no, but Gary. And he's like, yeah, but what did you decide about that? And would an infinite being choose that? And I'm like, this infinite being thing handles everything. There's no limitation in an infinite being. There's no problem in infinite being. Not waiting around an infinite being, like an infinite being would just choose. They don't care. They don't give two fucks about what anybody thinks. They're not going to stop themselves for judgment. They're not going to like come up with a story, because that's just not where they put their energy. Infinite beings just choose and go, choose and go, like kids. But we've taught ourselves how to be finite. We've taught ourselves how to be limited. And so what we've got to get about if we're waiting around for anything is that we've made staying in one place until fill in the blank more valuable than, which is dying, by the way, that's dying, than creating, than going over here to create. And why? Because creating is like unknown. When we first moved here to Panama first and then to Colombia, if you had told me how it was going to go and what was going to come up for me, I would not have chosen it. That's how hard it was for me. I'm only illustrating that and making it dramatic because it felt dramatic. All of my stuff that I had never had to look at in the country where I spoke the language and I knew the culture came up to change, all of it at the same time. And so I went through a really long period of feeling very fraudulent as a facilitator, feeling fraudulent as a person, feeling like the most abusive, reactive person on the planet, like just this huge thing. But the thing that actually changed it was my choice to be here. Now, that's terrible English, but that was what it was. What changed it forever was the choice to be here. That is true of everything in your life. The thing that changes something is the choice for something. So, for example, if you don't have somebody near you that runs your bars, the thing that changes that is the choice for someone to run your bars. How's that going to happen? Nobody knows. Like, you don't even know. The universe doesn't know. What are the infinite possibilities of this showing up? Starts the process. If you're trying but everything feels hard, there's something you haven't chosen for that is like the rock dragging you back into your true choice, which is to give up and to die somewhere. And so the antidote is really just looking for what can you choose for that would change this. Not how can you change this, what can you choose for that would change this? Let me read this. Suzanne says, I have not created the life I would love to have because, okay, and what I want to point out, and thank you so much, Suzanne, is that any time you say, I haven't done this because, you're about to tell yourself and the other person the story. And what a story does is it keeps you safe in dying. It doesn't set you free. Stories never set you free. They don't empower you, they disempower you. But let's look at this, okay? So I have not created the life I would love to have because my man will come into my life soon. Preach, sister, I've done that. He will save me, make me safe, and I will be safe to me. I will show up for my business. The last few months I have started without waiting anymore. Epic. I go really slow, but I'm creating. Fuck yes. What can I do to trust me more in this process? To be bravely me, to have my back, and to trust the universe. Just keep going. I guess that's a huge freaking thing in this conversation, guys, is you never do really trust yourself. I'm looking at, do I trust myself? I think what I've learned over the last 9 years of like continually creating forward is that I can trust like one or two things about myself. One, that I will never ultimately give up. I may give up for a day. I may give up even for a week. I may give up for, I don't know, period of time, but I will ultimately always stand back up. I know this about me. So you will start to learn certain things about you that you can trust. I also know that I am always stretching forward into more consciousness that includes everything and doesn't judge anything. I can trust that about me. So there will be, as you go, things you learn that you can trust about you. But like, is it really required that you trust yourself, or is it just required that even if you don't trust yourself, you keep choosing? Because these are the things that we put in place as the I won't do this until that keep us dying. So at the end of the day, it's like whether I trust myself or not. So like I'm about to launch out into more music, more energy pulls, all this stuff that I have done once upon a time, but I'm a totally different person, totally different me. I haven't played the piano in like 2 years. And, you know, what's come up for me over this whole process of making sure that my setup is really pro is like, am I going to sound pro? You know, like I listened to myself doing a test Facebook Live and it's choppy. There's going to be mistakes. I'm going to play wrong notes for sure. And you're going to hear them. I'm going to hear them. Am I going to make that? So am I going to wait? Am I going to wait until I'm more pro? I mean, I have been researching like different online classes I can take to strengthen my voice and, you know, like get more chops under my belt and all that stuff. I'm aware that if I really want more than one pattern to come out of my fingers, that I definitely require some practice on different patterns and different chords progressions and all that stuff. I'm aware of all that. Am I going to wait until I can trust that this variety is going to come out of my fingers until I do energy pulls, or am I going to choose what I'm aware of now? And I can tell you that I can trust me to not wait because I can't wait. I can't wait. What that means is that what's going to come out of my fingers and come out of my mouth is going to be whatever it is in the moment. And it will get greater as we go instead of waiting until I'm as great as I want to be able to show you guys me. But I've learned that about me, that if I wait, what dies is the inspiration and the energy that's up now. What I am aware of something. I'm aware of something. So am I enough? From your point of view, maybe more than enough. From my point of view, maybe not. So what am I going to use to determine what I choose? Your point of view, my point of view, or something else? At the end of the day, I'm going to use something else. I'm going to just choose forward into what I'm aware of. But that is like, that doesn't come from trusting that what I'm going to deliver to you is the pro product I wish I could deliver. That doesn't even, here's what I trust myself to do. I trust myself to show up. I trust that I'm going to make mistakes. I trust that I'm probably going to be one of the only ones that hear them. I trust that they're going to bother me more than they bother you. And I trust that it's going to create something. So trust is just the recognition of what's true, not blind faith in a preferred outcome. And not that that's anything you were trying to say, Suzanne, but you got me started. So what if you were willing to choose whether or not you trusted yourself? And thank you guys for the encouragement. Super joyful that you'll be adding your gift of music to your offerings. I love the integration and the generosity of this choice. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for the trust talk. Somebody tagged their friend. If you guys have a friend that needs this video and you would tag them, that would be so great. I could use so much help in getting these videos seen. So what is it you are waiting for that if you didn't wait for it would give you access to all of you? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, COVID, and beyonds. Who or what are you waiting for that if you didn't wait for them would give you access to all of you? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, COVID, and beyonds. Here's another great example of like not knowing what I can trust. Andres and I are in the process of, we started this new company called Workplace Stress Relief. The thrust of the company is to bring and introduce access bars to corporations, starting in Colombia. But if we start to get our stride and it starts to really work here, then we're going to take it into other countries and, set up workplace stress relief consultants and all this stuff. We have all these plans, but we're in the very, very beginning of instituting this, right? So when you're just starting something, you're starting from scratch, and it doesn't matter what it is you're starting, whether you're starting to create your life or you're creating somebody to run your bars, if the example keeps popping in, or you're creating your life in a new country, it doesn't matter what it is, you're starting from scratch. You have to choose to get awareness, because without the choice, you don't get awareness. If you wait around for clarity, it never comes, because the clarity comes from the awareness that you get from choosing. So we were aware that we wanted to bring access bars to corporations in a much bigger way. We were aware that we want many more people to know this, and there seemed to be a possibility there. Long story short is we just started. So the first place we started was creating a very simple website, but then of course we had to change it 5 times, because you choose and you get awareness, and you choose and you get awareness, and you have to change it. And then he got this idea to connect with a lady he knows who has a consulting company for corporations, who is very connected to the corporations. He's really good at picking out the connectors who are connected. So we have an interface now with these ladies, and we have an event set up for the first time ever, February 23rd in Colombia. It's going to be for 50 corporate VIPs. And we have been inventing the format of this event. I don't know if it's going to work, but we've got a place to have the event. We have money to pay for the event. We have the connectors in place to connect us with the people. We've got a quiz for them to take and get themselves registered. We've got these different pieces in place, and this week we're going to start inviting. And we're going to put together a rough format for the event that I think is going to work, but it might be a mess. And, this is not something I've ever done before. I've done access classes where you basically put a title and a price and people show up, and there's a few logistics, but it's a lot simpler. This is very different. We want to be able to give people a certificate for something. When they leave, we want to be able to run 50 people's bars in a 5-hour window. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, and I've never done it before. I've never even talked to anybody that's done it before. So what I trust is that there will be an event. We will do the very best we can and try to think of everything. We will organize it as best we can beforehand, and that I also trust that when we get there, we're probably gonna have to think on our feet, and that at the end of the day, we're going to meet some new people, and that hopefully we will walk away with some scheduled appointments to go into corporations and actually run some bars. Right? But I don't know what I'm doing. You never know what you're doing when you start these things. It doesn't matter what you're creating, your life, money, your business, whatever. You don't know what you're doing. You just you just start somewhere. You just start choosing things. You just invent this. This whole thing is an invention. And so when you are spending all your energy waiting around for somebody else to come, you're dying. And the thing you're avoiding is the unknown and the adventure of living. Because it's unknown, it's an adventure, it's everything, it's all the things. It's the high moments and the low moments. It's the, like somebody said, oh my God, you moved to Latin America, are you having fun? And I was like, could you ask me that in a different way? I wouldn't say I'm having fun. I would say this is one of the hardest choices I've ever made in my life. And I'm just now starting to come up on the other side of it. And I am. And it's my choice for being here has started to give me wings. Engaging with you guys again has given me wings. Like, there are these choices you start to make that start to give you your wings back. But you don't start there. You start where you start. I started re-engaging with you guys in this phase of everything, way down here in the depths. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. How do I live? What do I have to choose to live? So I just chose something. I just opened my phone and started talking, and then, created what I called a private podcast. And that changed the energy. But that's the thing about, like, when you can't clear dying. You can only choose something that starts living. And it can be anything. And so I guess what I can trust about me is that I will always choose something else that is living. Right? So man, that would be just really, really amazing to look at for you guys, is like, what can you trust about you? What are the meta things you can trust about you? And there's going to be good and things you can trust about you, and bad things you can trust about you, and ugly things you can trust about you. And all of it's included. And if you don't judge any of it, it can be this incredible gift. So, God damn it, where's my knight? Go get a mirror. You are your knight. Go get yourself some armor, sharpen up your spear, get yourself a horse or a broom, and start galloping, baby, because you're the knight, you're the guy. And it's not because you can trust you or you even like you that you're the guy. It's just because you're the guy. And you're either going to spend all your time hating you, waiting for clarity, waiting for someone to do it for you, dreading the next day, or you're going to go, fuck it, I'm not living this way anymore. And you're going to get up and go, okay, if I were creating this, what would I choose? If I weren't waiting on anyone else to choose this for me, anyone else to fix this for me, so me with Latin America, if this were going to work for me, what would I choose? Man, I had to really force myself to look at that, because I was doing all kinds of victim shit with that. Like, I can't, and this is hard, and then like, no. Which you could find people to agree with you on that stuff. There was people that were like, well, yeah, but that didn't change it. The only thing that changed it was me going, okay, I'm either here or I'm not here. So if I'm here, what am I choosing next? And that was when I added Pilates to my life. It's all in Spanish. Everything I choose is all in Spanish, right? So I'm learning this whole new vocabulary of bodies, parts, and movements and things. But we speak body language, the energy communicates. We worked. I chose, we weren't going to get a piano for all these reasons, but I knew I needed to, so I chose to get the piano. I'm choosing to spend more time in different ways with family. Whenever I really have to pay attention to the language and stay present in a different way. I'm choosing these different things that are forcing me to choose more and engage more and live. And I would say in the beginning of any choice for living, it's fucking awkward. When I first started Pilates like 5 or 6 weeks ago, my muscles were so atrophied because I haven't worked them out in 2 years. I had some strong ones, but like all my lower muscles didn't even exist. So she would have us doing these different, movements. And I'm like, my legs doing this. It's just jello. And my second Pilates session, I cried. I like burst into tears because I couldn't do this. But then I just wiped the tears and I let myself be, and I went a little slower, and I showed up the next week, and I came again, and I showed up again, and I showed up again. And now we're starting to get stronger. And that's the thing about, when you stop waiting and you start creating, you start out awkward, but you get stronger. And so if there's one major thing I've learned about any of this, it's like, I now trust, speaking of trust, I trust that if I commit myself to a process, I can trust that the process will do its job. As long as I show up for the process will do its job. So a great example of that is what we're doing in Infinite Being School Prime right now, crystaljoycrawford.com/IBS Prime. We're doing a daily 30 by 30. I show up every single day live, and I do it. And whoever's live with me participates. It's $37 a month, by the way. We're opening the doors again for Wednesday. So 2 days, we're going to start a new 30 days. If I will commit myself to showing up every day and just committing myself to that process, I will have change. And, when I started doing these 30 by 30s like 5 years ago, nobody was doing them. I pulled it out of the reference materials and I made it a thing, and it got exciting. The free one you can check out now is theawareness.challenge.com. That's one clearing from this book, Right Riches for You, that Gary says, do this 30 times a day for 30 days. And most of us go, okay. And then we don't. I'm like, we need to do this. I made it a thing. Holy shit. And all I had to do was show up every day and choose it. And that's most of everything in our life. If we'll just show up every day and choose the process will take care of us. The process itself will create the strength where we don't have the strength, and the trust where we don't have the trust. But we have to be willing to show up and choose the process. And some processes are more guided than other processes. The 30 by 30s that I do, they're guided. Pilates, guided. Creating your life, not so guided. That's guided by you. That's guided by what you want your life to be like, and being willing to be it, and choosing to get more awareness, because you're teaching yourself all the time. We're like constantly teaching ourselves. And so, what would it take to just enjoy the awkward learning curve that is the process? And if you don't enjoy it, just to sweat through it and do it anyway. And that's what I got for today. So more than welcome to join us in IBS Prime. That process is life-changing. crystaljoycrawford.com/IBS Prime. And if not that, what else? Please share this with your friends. I adore you guys. Bye.